The 1892 half dollar, a coin rich in American numismatic heritage, is one of the earliest examples of the Barber half-dollar series, designed by Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. Introduced in 1892, this coin replaced the seated Liberty half-dollar and marked the beginning of a new era in U.S. coinage design. What makes the 1892 half-dollar particularly notable is not just its position at the beginning of the series, but also the quality of craftsmanship and the historical period it represents in America transitioning into the modern industrial age. The obverse of the 1892 half-dollar features the classical bust of Liberty facing right, wearing a Phrygian cap and a laurel wreath, surrounded by the inscription "In God We Trust" above and the date 1892 below. 13 stars line the sides, symbolizing the original colonies. On the reverse, the coin bears the powerful image of the heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, an olive branch in its right talon, and arrows in its left, representing the country's desire for peace while maintaining strength. The eagle is surrounded by the inscriptions "United States of America" and half-dollar. A ribbon in its beak reads "E pluribus unum." Every detail of the coin reflects a deep sense of national pride and timeless artistry, minted primarily in Philadelphia. The 1892 no-mint mark version has become increasingly sought after in today's collector's market due to its historical placement. As the inaugural release of the Barber half-dollar series, unlike later years, many of these coins saw extensive circulation, which means finding an original 1892 half-dollar in pristine, uncirculated condition is extremely rare. The metal composition of 90% silver and 10% copper gives it intrinsic bullion value. But it's the collector value that truly elevates this coin, especially as demand grows for coins, representing significant transitions in U.S. coinage history. The weight of the coin is 12.5 grams, and it has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, featuring a reeded edge. These dimensions were standard for half-dollars of the era, and they remained consistent throughout the Barber half-dollar's run until 1915. Collectors often seek Barber half-dollars because of their role in a trilogy of coinage designed by Charles Barber, which includes the Barber dime, quarter, and half-dollar. The 1892 edition holds special value because it was the first issue and was struck during a time of economic transformation in America. This historical backdrop only enhances its desirability. The market value of the 1892 half-dollar today can reach up to $1,200 or more, depending on the condition and grading. Coins graded MS63 or higher by NGC or PCGSR, especially valuable and command premium prices at auctions. Even lower-grade versions in fine F2, extremely fine XF condition can fetch hundreds of dollars. What further adds to its rarity is that many of these coins were melted down for their silver content during the 20th century, especially during periods of high silver prices, reducing the surviving population. Coins with strong details, minimal wear, and original mint luster are most prized. There are also varieties to look out for. Some 1892 Barber half-dollars show slight die variations or weak strikes, making them unique to specialists who collect Barber coinage by die marriage or mint error. Barber coins have long been a staple in advanced coin collections, and the 1892 half-dollar sits at the very top of this interest. Curved because of its foundational status, the coin also appeals to those fascinated by the economic history of the late 19th century, as it was struck during the period known as the Gilded Age, a time of rapid industrialization, labor movements, and significant shifts in American society. Holding this coin is like holding a tangible piece of history from a period when railroads crisscrossed the continent. Electricity lit up cities, and America was asserting its presence on the world stage. That connection to the past gives the 1892 half-dollar a value that goes beyond just metal or collector epaulette, becomes a storytelling artifact. In today's world, where digital assets and cryptocurrency are becoming the norm, the tactile and historical connection a coin like this offers is both rare and invaluable. For YouTubers, numismatists, antique dealers, or history lovers, the 1892 half-dollar provides immense content value, showcasing its features, highlighting its historical ties or exploring its grading can draw strong viewer interest, especially when emphasizing that some well-preserved examples can fetch up to $1,200 or more in current market conditions. In summary, the 1892 half dollar is more than just an old piece of money. It's a cornerstone of American coinage history, a tribute to skilled engraving, and a rare collectible that has grown in value over the decades. Its combination of age, silver content, historical context, and rarity makes it a treasured item for collectors. With a market value today reaching $1,200, this coin is not only a smart investment for numismatists, but also a valuable piece of history for anyone who appreciates the story behind the currency, whether found in old coin collections, estate auctions, or coin shows. An 1892 half dollar in high grade is a remarkable discovery and one that reflects the beauty, complexity, and legacy of early American minting. Next up, the 1908 Barber half dollar is a standout piece in the world of numismatics. Not just for its historical significance, but also for its growing market value that today can reach as high as $4,200, especially in higher grades. This coin belongs to the iconic Barber coinage series, named after its designer, Charles E. Barber, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint. From 1879 to 1917, issued between 1892 and 1915, the Barber half dollar represented a pivotal moment in U.S. coin design, bridging the artistic and industrial transition of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The 1908 Barber half dollar, specifically, holds a special place in collectors' hearts due to its beautiful design, limited surviving population and high grades, and the rich history it carries from an era that witnessed monumental change across America. The obverse of the 1908 half dollar features the classic right-facing bust of Liberty, wearing a Phrygian cap and a laurel wreath tied with a ribbon inscribed with the word Liberty. This elegant yet bold portrayal of liberty is surrounded by the inscriptions, "In God we trust above," and the date 1908 below, with 13 six-pointed stars representing the original colonies encircling the portrait. On the reverse, the coin showcases a powerful heraldic eagle, grasping an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other, symbolizing America's desire for peace while being prepared for war. A shield covers the eagle's breast, and above the eagle's head is a scroll bearing the national motto, E pluribus unum, surrounded by 13 stars. Around the rim, the inscription, United States of America, and the denomination half dollar are clearly struck, lending the coin a sense of completeness and grandeur. Minted in 3 main locations, Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, in New Orleans. O, the 1908 Barber half dollar varies in rarity depending on its origin. The Philadelphia minted coin is the most common, while the 19080 and 1908D issues are scarcer, especially in higher mint state grades. While millions were minted in total, most of these coins entered heavy circulation, resulting in considerable wear. Today, finding a 1908 Barber half dollar in pristine, uncirculated condition is a serious challenge. Coins that have survived the decades with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks are highly sought after and can command auction prices in the range of $4,200 or more, especially if graded MS65 or above by top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC. What makes the 1908 half dollar so valuable today is not just its age, but also the evolving collector demand and the historical window it opens into early 20th century American society. This was a time when the country was industrializing rapidly. Immigration was reshaping demographics. President Theodore Roosevelt's progressive reforms were reshaping the nation's policies. Holding a 1908 half dollar is like touching a fragment of that transformative era, one where America was asserting its place on the world stage. The coin serves as both a piece of art and a tangible link to a dynamic historical period, which significantly contributes to its rising appeal among collectors and historians alike. Condition is everything in the world of coins, and this holds especially true for Barber half dollars. In circulated grades like fine F12 or very fine VF20, a 1908 half dollar may be worth $50 to $200, depending on mint mark and eye appeal. However, as the grade increases, so does the value exponentially. A coin in extremely fine EF40 might fetch $300 for $150, while about uncirculated AU50 examples can exceed $900, $1,500, mint state coins, such as those graded MS63, easily climb into the $2,500 to $3,800 range, while MS65 specimens, which are rare due to strike weakness, contact marks, and general scarcity, can sell for $4,200 or more at public auctions or through private dealers. Factors that can push the price even higher include original luster, strong strike quality, toning, and provenance, such as being part of a famous collection. The rarity of high-grade 1908 half dollars can be attributed to the way coins were handled and saved during that period. In the early 1900s, coin collecting was not yet a mainstream hobby. Most coins were used strictly for commerce. Half dollars had strong purchasing power and saw heavy circulation, often for years. Only a few people would set aside freshly minted coins for numismatic reasons, and fewer still would store them under ideal conditions. As a result, well-preserved examples are true survivors, and this adds an emotional and financial premium when they do appear for sale. In today's numismatic market, interest in Barber half dollars is climbing as collectors recognize the difficulty in assembling a high-grade complete set. The 1908 issue is often a key date for enthusiasts trying to build typesets or Daytan mint mark sets. This growing demand pushes prices upward, especially when a coin is certified by PCGS or NGC, with designations such as CAC-approved Certified Acceptance Corporation further boosting value. These coins are seen as blue-chip investments, tangible assets that are historically significant, artistically beautiful, and unlikely to decline in interest among future generations of collectors. Beyond value and condition, varieties and errors can also influence the worth of a 1908 half dollar. While not as common as in some other series, Barber half dollars can occasionally show die cracks, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes, all of which can significantly increase a coin's desirability and value. Collectors often pay a premium for these rare variations, especially if they are well documented and authenticated by reputable sources. The coin's silver content also adds intrinsic value. Composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, the 1908 half dollar contains approximately 0.3617 troy ounces of silver, which gives it some base bullion value regardless of condition. However, the numismatic premium far outweighs the melt value in most cases, particularly for well-preserved coins. With silver prices fluctuating, this metal component adds an extra layer of interest, especially for investors who enjoy the intersection of precious metals and historical collectibles. For collectors and investors looking to purchase or sell a 1908 Barber half dollar, avenues include online marketplaces like eBay, major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, and trusted coin dealers affiliated with the American Numismatic Association (ANA). When buying, it's essential to verify authenticity, check for professional grading, and examine the coin for any signs of cleaning which can drastically reduce value. Conversely, if you own a high-grade 1908 half dollar, now may be an excellent time to explore its market potential, especially given the rising interest in classic U.S. coinage. In conclusion, a 1908 Barber half dollar is far more than a piece of old currency. It is a historical artifact, a miniature sculpture, and a treasured collectible rolled into one. With a market value that can soar to $4,200 depending on condition and mint mark, this coin offers a glimpse into a bygone era while holding its own as a solid investment. Collectors prize it for its sharp classical design, its place in the story of American coinage, and the challenges involved in finding top-condition specimens. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your journey into rare coins, the 1908 half dollar remains a timeless and worthwhile addition to any serious collection. Its rising value, historical charm, and enduring appeal make it one of the most intriguing coins in early 20th century U.S. minting history. Next up, 1980D Kennedy half dollar may appear as a common coin at first glance. But beneath its everyday look lies a hidden world of collector intrigue, rare varieties, to numismatic potential that can elevate its value to astonishing levels. Reaching up to $5,200 in certain extraordinary conditions. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 198 OD Kennedy half dollar is part of the long-running Kennedy half series, a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination in 1963. While millions of these coins were produced for circulation, making them seem quite ordinary, the real story lies in the unexpected survivors, coins that defy the odds by existing in exceptionally high grades, with mint errors or proof-like finishes, thus transforming from pocket change to high value. Treasures in the numismatic world. The obverse of the 1980D half dollar features the enduring and powerful portrait of John F. Kennedy. It's designed by Gilroy Roberts, who was the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. Kennedy's left-facing profile is bold and detailed, reflecting the nation's admiration and respect for its 35th president. The design includes the inscription "Liberty" above Kennedy's head, "In God We Trust" to the left and right of his neck, and the date 1980 placed below. The D-Mint mark, indicating the Denver Mint, is prominently displayed just below Kennedy's neckline, small detail that can greatly influence the value depending on how well the coin was struck or if unique characteristics exist. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the presidential seal, with an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by 50 stars representing the states and the inscriptions "United States of America" and half dollar. The mintage of the 1980D half dollar was quite substantial. Over 33 million coins were struck. This large number typically means a coin has low collectible value due to high availability. However, that's not the case for specimens that have survived in pristine mint state condition, particularly those graded MS67 or higher by respected third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC. Coins with this level of perfection are exceedingly rare, and this rarity is what drives their value into the thousands. In fact, auction records confirm that some examples of the 1980D Kennedy half dollar have sold for over $5,000, especially those with full strike details, original luster, and minimal contact marks. It's important to understand that in everyday circulation, most 1980D half dollars were used heavily, often bearing nicks, scratches, and where that reduced their numismatic value. As a result, locating a true gem quality example from this year and mint becomes a monumental task, one that adds significant value to the right coin. Moreover, coins with unique characteristics such as deep mirror proof-like DMPL surfaces, toning, full strike sharpness, and clean fields without blemishes are rewarded in the numismatic market with prices that can reach and exceed $5,200. Adding another layer of value are the rare error coins associated with the 1980D half dollar. Collectors and specialists have identified error varieties such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchates, die cracks, struck through errors that make these coins even more desirable. A well-preserved 1980D Kennedy half dollar with a dramatic mint error can easily command thousands of dollars due to its uniqueness and eye-catching characteristics. For example, a 1980D half dollar struck on a foreign planchette or with a significant misalignment would be considered an ultra-rarity, often fetching four-figure prices depending on condition and demand. These errors turn an ordinary coin into an accidental masterpiece, with collectors willing to pay premiums for their unexpected beauty and numismatic oddity. The metal composition of the 1980D half dollar also plays a part in its appeal. By this time, the coin was being struck in a clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper nickel. Although no longer made with silver, as in the original 1964 issue, the coin's weight of 11.34 grams and its silvery appearance still lended a sense of value and permanence. While the metal content doesn't add substantial intrinsic value, it provides a sturdy and resilient surface for preserving high tidal strikes in mint state condition, which is essential for achieving high grades. Historically, 1980 was a significant year in the United States, one marked by political shifts, economic challenges, and technological advancements. This was the year that Ronald Reagan won the presidency, signaling the dawn of a new conservative era in American politics. Inflation was high, the Cold War tensions were still strong, and the U.S. economy was undergoing transitions that affected industries across the country. Amid all this, the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar was quietly minted and released, carrying with it a reflection of the era's energy and uncertainty. Today, holding this coin feels like holding a moment of American resilience. A small metal disc that has weathered the decades and now serves as a numismatic time capsule. Grading is an essential factor in determining the true market value of any coin, and for the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar, the difference between MS-65 and MS-67 can mean the difference between $100 and $5,200. Coins that receive the MS-67 grade or higher from PCGS or NGC are extremely scarce, often coming from uncirculated mint sets or bankrolls that were preserved under ideal conditions. These coins must display sharp details, lustrous surfaces, and an absence of contact, marks, or scratches, particularly in focal areas such as Kennedy's cheek and hairlines. Even small imperfections can reduce the value significantly. Precision and professional certification are critical for buyers and sellers alike. In recent years, interest in modern coinage, including clad Kennedy half-dollars, has grown tremendously. Numismatists who previously focused only on silver or gold coins are now recognizing the value in high-grade. Low population modern issues, its growing demand, combined with the rarity of top-tier 1980 half-dollars, has pushed values upward. Collectors now view these coins not merely as currency, but as investment-grade collectibles. Tangible assets with historical importance and the potential for appreciation over time. As a result, auction houses and online coin platforms are reporting increased competition and higher realized prices for these standout examples. For those lucky enough to own a 1980 Kennedy half-dollar, it's highly recommended to have the coin professionally graded if you believe it is in mint state or better. Even if it doesn't reach the $5,000 threshold, a high MS-66 or MS-65 coin can still be worth several $100s, a handsome return for a coin that originally had only face value. And if the coin features a dramatic error, the price can rise exponentially depending on its visual impact and uniqueness. On the other hand, for collectors seeking to purchase a top-grade 1980D example, be prepared to pay a premium and ensure that the coin is certified and authentic, ideally with a secure holder and certificate of grade and authenticity from PCGS or NGC. In the context of assembling a Kennedy half-dollar set, the 1980D plays an interesting role. It's not a key date in terms of mintage, but it becomes a semi-key date when considering condition rarity, especially in MS-67 and above. It presents a challenge for serious collectors who are striving for perfection. This challenge adds to the allure and mystique of the coin. Completing such a set with only high-grade coins is both a labor of love and a display of dedication to the numismatic craft. Each piece, including the 1980D, tells a chapter of the American story, one where currency intersects with history, design, and national memory. In conclusion, the 1980D Kennedy half-dollar is far more than a standard clad coin from the late 20th century. It is a coin that embodies historical transition, technical artistry, and collector ambition. With a market value that can reach $5,200 for premium examples and rare varieties, this Denver minted coin has proven that even modern issues can achieve legendary status under the right circumstances. Its sharp design, mint errors, low population, and high grades, and growing collector demand make it a cornerstone for those who appreciate the blend of rarity and legacy. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, the 1980 Kennedy half-dollar is a coin worth studying, seeking, and celebrating, a powerful reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Next up, the 1922-piece silver dollar is more than just a vintage coin. It's a stunning symbol of post-war hope, American resilience, and timeless numismatic beauty. Minted in the wake of World War I, this coin became the first U.S. dollar issued, to celebrate peace rather than war. Replacing the Morgan dollar, which had dominated American silver currency since the late 1800s, the 1922 peace dollar was part of a new movement in American coinage that emphasized symbolic art, national healing, and forward-looking ideals. Struck primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. With additional issues from Denver D and San Francisco's mints, the 1922 version is by far the most common date in the peace dollar series, with over 51 million coins produced. However, what gives some examples of the 1922 peace dollar? Their incredible value, reaching as high as $3,200 as their mint state condition. Rare varieties and exceptional strike quality, especially in high grades like MS65 to MS67, which are extraordinarily scarce and heavily sought after by advanced collectors. The peace dollar was the result of a competition announced by the Commission of Fine Arts in 1921, seeking a design that would reflect America's emergence as a world power and its desire for global peace after the devastation of war. The winning design came from Anthony de Francisi, a young sculptor who used his wife Teresa as the model for the goddess Liberty. The result is one of the most admired profiles in American coinage history. On the obverse, Liberty face is left with windblown hair and a radiating crown, a symbolic echo of the Statue of Liberty. Surrounding her image are the inscriptions Liberty, God We Trust, with the classic spelling Terst, in the year 1922 at the base. The reverse features a magnificent American bald eagle resting on a mountaintop, holding an olive branch in its talons, facing the sunrise, symbolizing the dawn of peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus, unum, and the denomination $1 are encircled above and around the eagle, while the word peace is boldly struck at the base of the rock, anchoring the coins. Message with elegance and meaning. Despite the large mintage, 1922 peace dollars in superb condition are exceedingly difficult to locate, especially those with full luster, sharp relief, and minimal contact marks. This difficulty is due in part to changes in the minting process that occurred in 1922. The earliest peace dollars, struck in 1921, were made using high-relief dies, resulting in a stunning three-dimensional appearance but significant production. Challenges including die breakage and strike inconsistencies. In 1922, the mint transitioned to lower-lift dies to increase output and die longevity. But this change also affected the depth and crispness of the coin's design. As a result, even though millions were made, few coins exhibit the kind of detail and beauty that collectors now associate with high-grade examples. Coins graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC, particularly those that are well struck with booming luster, are rare and highly valuable, with some selling at auction for $2,500 to $3,200 or more, depending on eye appeal, toning, and pedigree. In particular, coins that earn designations such as CAC-approved Certified Acceptance Corporation, plus grade MS65 Plus or MS66 Plus, or have exceptional original surfaces free from abrasions or cleaning marks can command a strong premium. One key feature that boosts the value of a 1922 peace dollar is the presence of striking mint errors, which are rarely found but extremely desirable. Known varieties such as die breaks, doubled dies, weak strikes, or off-center strikes have all been recorded on 1922 peace dollars. Some coins have even been found struck on improper planchettes or with rotated dies. These errors add a layer of intrigue and rarity to an already beautiful coin, and collectors will often pay several times the typical value for a well-preserved error specimen. It's also worth noting that there exists a 1922 high-relief proof peace dollar struck as a trial with a satin finish on, extreme rarity of which only a handful exists today, commanding six-figure prices if discovered. However, even regular business strikes in gem condition with perfect eye appeal are valuable, often reaching or exceeding $3,200 when offered at major auction houses or to serious numismatists. Market demand for the peace dollar series has remained strong for decades, and the 1922 issue, while not considered a key date, is still a cornerstone for collectors aiming for high-quality type sets or completing full peace dollar collections. What makes the 1922 example So interesting is that it gives both novice collectors and elite investors an entry point into the piece series. It's accessible in circulated grades and yet extraordinarily rare in top-tier mint state grades, offering potential for appreciation and collecting challenge alike. Coins in grades like XF Extra Fine or O, almost uncirculated, may range between $40 and $100, depending on surface quality and overall appearance. In MS62 MS63, the coin's value rises sharply to $150, $450. While MS64 examples may touch $700 or more, and MS65 coins regularly bring $1,200 to $2,000. Once a coin reaches the MS66 and MS67 tier, especially with vibrant cartwheel luster and frosty surfaces, the value jumps significantly and can easily surpass $3,000 to $3,200, depending on competition and demand. Add to this the ongoing popularity of silver coins in general, particularly 90% silver coins like the piece dollar, which contains 0.77344 troy ounces of silver. And you have a coin that holds both historical and bullion-based appeal. The piece dollar silver content gives it a base metal value. But collectors and investors alike know that its numismatic premium far exceeds melt price, especially for high-grade pieces with original surfaces. This blend of artistic beauty, national symbolism, precious metal content, and rarity and pristine grades makes the 1922 piece dollar a perfect storm of collectible excellence. Furthermore, with recent renewed interest in silver dollar designs, especially following the 2021 reissues commemorating the Morgan and Peace dollars, centennial, the market for original piece dollars has received a fresh wave of attention. Collectors who previously ignored the 1922 issue are now seeking high-end examples to capitalize on increasing demand and investment potential. The story behind the piece dollar is as important as the coin itself. Created as a symbol of the end of global conflict and the beginning of a hopeful future, the piece dollar speaks to America's values, its history, and its artistic culture. To own a 1922 piece dollars, especially one in flawless condition, is to own a tangible piece of national memory, frozen in time and preserved in silver. With prices today reaching up to $3,200 for MS66, MS67 examples, and even more for rare errors or proof-like pieces, this coin has proven its staying power not just as currency, but as an icon of peace, art, and enduring value in the world of American coin collecting.